Hey guys, don't know if you just saw the last couple shorts from today. If you haven't, kind of going to sum it up a little bit for you. We picked up a motor for the Civic today. I know the last we talked, we were talking about doing, machine work, taking the head over to a machine shop, same with the block. And at the end of the day, we kind of just realized since all of this is temporary until a J-swap happens, if that's what happens, we'd be more money wrapped up into the machine shop and everything than we would just dropping in another of the same motor right now that it's already tuned for, already had in it. It would be cheaper to go that route, and it's a motor with 65,000 miles. There it is right there. That's the one we picked up. It had all the accessories and everything on it earlier. That's part of what I got done today. Like I said in the shorts, I picked up the motor, went all the way down about 2 hours away down to Maryland JDM. We've bought a couple engines from them before. They always seem to come through with decent ones. This one came into America last week, literally, so she's fresh and ready to go. We are still going to do a water pump, timing belt, valve cover gaskets, new plugs. The wires that I already had on my car had less than 500 miles on them, so that's what we're just going to put back on. I do still have to swap over the mid-axle. Can't remember the name of it right now. It's been a long day. Intake manifold has to swap over. This alternator is good. We're going to use that one. Still have to swap over some silicone hoses that we have for it. Most of those will go on once the motor's back in the car. Also got to do some fabbing up there. This bracket used to be the AC bracket when the motor would have had AC. We're not running AC, but I need this right here where the torque mount mounts. So to fit it with the turbo, I'm probably going to have to cut it to get it to fit. As long as the two bolts there still get to the block, we should be fine. Have to swap over this motor mount because in a V20 it's a 2-post. In the car it's a 3-post mount, which we're going to be running those Hatchback mounts, Street Series, so we're going to be fantastic there. While we were at it, my buddy Tyler came over. He was helping me. He was supposed to come down, get the motor with me, but life happened, some stuff happened in the morning, so after I got back with the motor, he came over. He actually started working on some of the suspension stuff. I'll flip you. I've got all these parts. I've got a whole bushing set for every bushing in the entire car. I've got upper control arms, bushings to fit that as well, adjustable uppers, which ironically I didn't have before, new lowers with fresh bushings. So everything, he was pretty much working away at that. And we were going good. We got a really late start to the day, otherwise it would be a lot further in the process. Unfortunately, we got done what we got done, and right before we got done, Honda, in their infinite wisdom, decided to flip this bolt right here for your lower control arm. It goes into the subframe. Well, that subframe is not accessible inside from underneath, above, the side, anything. And what happens is there's a little welded nut back here that bolt goes through to bolt in the lower control arm at the subframe part of it to actually secure it to the car. Well, I guess the welds had broken beforehand. Maybe the last time control arms were done, or last time bushings were done, or when the car was taken apart before. The nut is no longer welded, and we went to go put this in, and it just boop, right in. So we've got to add that fantastic adventure. I'm going to end up having to cut a window in the side of the subframe right about here, get a new nut in there, Loctite the ever living crap out of it, maybe throw a tack weld on it to just put it on the subframe again, or I might feed the bolt in from that side to go out and then Loctite in the nut on this side. That way, if it is ever going to come loose, we will see it first. But like I said, it's probably going to end up getting re-welded in there, and then we got to weld that part of the subframe back. This one came out just fine, and the nuts are still there. We haven't actually done the control arm on that side yet. I just wanted to see, hey, maybe there's something weird we're not seeing. But that one's still good. So don't have to do anything crazy on that side. It's just this side. If you guys hadn't seen this mount, we got re-welded in. It looks a little splotchy right now just from quick kind of paint job to keep it from flashing. I will most likely sand it back down, just clean it down a little bit, and then paint back over it. The engine bay is going to get cleaned up. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to pressure wash the engine bay today. Just with how the schedule started late, I was supposed to go down and get this motor before lunchtime. Working on this thing last night, welding that mount, I overslept a little bit, and my buddy Tyler was actually doing just normal adulting. That took a little bit longer than it should have, so I didn't even get out of here until about 12:30 to the motor. So I mean, it is what it is. It's a late start. Thing's been sitting for 3 years as it is. It can sit for a few more weeks, which it's going to anyway, because like I said, I want to clean up that engine bay a little bit. I want to pressure wash it, hide the lines a little bit more, which have already been tucked before. Most of the lines are all, as far as brake lines and stuff and wiring, it's all behind the dash. Eliminated out of the engine bay area, which this I got to clean up too a little bit. But yeah, that's basically where we're at. We're still in the status of, okay, we're going to replace the suspension bushings that are easy to get to right now, including the components that we already have, like the control arms themselves, sway bar links, upper control arms with the bushings, adjustable, everything we kind of went over a couple earlier in the video. And other than that, I've got to swap my oil pan over to this because my old one has a bung welded in AN fitting for the turbo drain. Got to swap over my mount for the driver's side of the motor. Hoses, got to put a new thermostat in there, new gasket. Every single time I look all around the head gasket area, make sure nothing was seeping there. I can still see factory Honda bond out of the edges of this one. And I don't see any signs of leakage on this head gasket anywhere at all, which is, a good thing. We don't want that. That's a lot of effort just to have it leak again. So thankfully we're good there. It's just we always still want the main wearable items that are easy to get to now, do them now before it's in the car. That way we know it's good, we know it's new. And to kind of go on a little bit more slight, short detail, yes, I am throwing another B20 in it because that's what it had in it. It ran perfectly fine other than me making young dumb choices trying to push this one to its limits, or the old one to its limits. That's why that one was messed up. If I had never done that, it probably would still run to this day with the old motor. So again, this is just temporary. I'm sure I'm making a lot of people, Honda guys, scream inside their minds right now of the fact that I'm throwing another B20 in with a turbo application car. Yes, I know B18 is just thicker cylinder walls. I know it's a little bit smaller pistons. Not even much changing to the tuning. But those are expensive right now. I don't know if you've looked at the prices recently between B20 and B18. It's a lot. And for those prices or the machining cost prices, we would have just went already and done the J-swap if that was the case. So now this is just to get it running again the way it was, just not an overheating mess for now until a more permanent plan has come up. And I still have the other block and the B18 head that we were talking about, put it on there. Who knows, maybe I'll decide to stay B series and send those off and have the time and patience to have them fully built if that's the route we choose to go. But at that point, the car still runs either way. But thank you guys for watching again. Like I said, I know Dad put out a couple shorts on this throughout the day. Keep watching to see further on. I'll try to do some more actual videos of stuff being replaced. Tonight was more, we got a late start. We want to try and get as much done as we possibly can. Type deal. So I didn't record much on this. I think there might have been a short of Tyler pressing and a bushing. That's about it other than me picking up the motor. So again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like the videos, keep watching for more updates. We'll have Trans Am updates soon. And this mainly, the olds, is kind of on the back burner for now until the paint for the bed is situated. And it, yeah, I'll show you that. Once upon a time, owned the transmission that is in it. Someone did a transpan gasket. It was leaking when we put it in. I finally got around to it in one of those videos on this S10 back when I was doing the exhaust. But with this specific transmission, pretty sure someone bent the pan itself when doing the gasket. I think they just kind of and tightened it, and that was it. That was the torque spec. It's still currently leaking. It took a while to show itself because the truck wasn't moving around much, but then once I started it, moved it around in here, a couple days later, boom, leaking. A lot of it, I'm pretty sure there's no fluid left in the trans right now other than the level of the pan below the seal. So eventually we'll have content on that again. That is something I have to address before the bodywork, just so the truck isn't peeing all the time, trans fluid. But yeah, again, sorry for dragging on. Like, subscribe, keep watching to kind of keep getting the updates. Thank you.